Day 23. Day 23 has concluded. We are doing this entrepreneurial journey. Where do we stand? What's the plan looking like? And what are we going to be talking about today? So I'm going to go right off the bat and say this. I don't know yet because, future might tell me otherwise and I could be having false hope, but there is a likely chance that I am actually already working with a buyer. I don't know because this isn't certain. This is not even close to being certain yet, but there is a possibility. There is a reality out here where I could be working with somebody already and securing a commission within the next several weeks to a month from now. Why do I mention that? Well, the home in Cicero that I decided to show a prospective buyer on Sunday just started pending, meaning that it's already it's starting to be under contract. People are signing the papers. So I went ahead and called the buyer, and I called him to let him know that not only has the home pended, but I gave him 6 different properties he can look at that matches him and his daughter's criteria. And he told me, yeah, go ahead and send me that email, and I'll go ahead and take a look at it. I'll even show you the text he sent, but I called him about that today, and I made sure I called because I was already meaning to follow up with him after the conversation we had before. But to rewind what we were just talking about, on Sunday afternoon, I sent this to him. I said, "Good afternoon, David. The voicemail might have cut my message off. Just want to let you know that you and your daughter," I put in her name on there. "I'd be happy to schedule a time to meet with you to take another look at the foundation. When would be a good time next week to meet and discuss this?" He said, "Thank you very much for the information. Let me talk to McKinsey and get back with you." So he is likely not represented. Why do I say that? Because he went straight to the listing agent. Often you don't go straight to the listing agent if you already have a buyer's agent. So I am acting as a fiduciary to him, and I sent him 6 listings. I said, take a look at these. They're all within your price range and the preferences that you and your daughter are looking for. And tomorrow, if I don't hear back from him, I'm going to follow up and say, hey, just checking in. What did you think about the homes I sent you? And just kind of building that relationship with him. Because I'll be honest with you, if as soon as he tells me, I want to go ahead and look at this home, immediately going to have him sign a buyer's contract, which means that if he buys a home, I get a commission from it. If that is the best case scenario, and if that does happen, then that's insane and that's great, although it's not sustainable simply because it's a referral. It's not real business, right? Worst case scenario, it's another dud and he's like, actually, I don't know if I want to buy, or I already have an agent or something like that, and he kind of just disappears. That is probably the worst case scenario, but even then, I'm not really losing anything out of doing this. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that as well. But let's go ahead and talk about what I did. Okay, so that's the exciting stuff. Let's talk about what I did. So I had a meeting with Tyler again, and we talked a lot about cold calling and my for sale by owner script. Because we talked so extensively on my script, I haven't gotten around to calling. I'm getting frustrated because I'm almost thinking I'm making up excuses for me not to pick up the phone. Because although it's my scripts really weren't that good, you should still call, Other than that though, I'm reorganizing my day. So one thing I've been noticing is that I have been very unorganized with my day. Ever since I started looking at the MLS hot sheets and stopped taking priority of my scripts, I fell off the radar as far as being consistent on my entire day, right? So when it comes to that, I've been restructuring my day in which it's more accommodating for those scripts and to do that and then study the market afterwards so I can make sure I don't get that instant dopamine from looking at a screen, even though it's like MLS sheets and Excel spreadsheets. But what we're doing tomorrow is I'm going to be doing my business plan, reviewing my scripts, calling them, and then doing the market after all of that. So after I do my active prospecting, I should be done. Then there's a business meeting. It's like a tax event, so it's like letting you know how to save money in taxes. And then after that, I have a scheduled meeting with Sean Hartwick, the 317 agent, the most followed realtor in the state of Indiana. So I'm having a discussion with him tomorrow. Hopefully I can go ahead and ask him what he's been doing. After that, it's all going to be about making my YouTube video. Why do I keep saying YouTube? Instagram video on buying versus renting a home. So my marketing, social media is strong. And I'll tell you what, although my scripting practice has really gone down since I've been overthinking how to write my script, my social media presence has really improved a lot. It's been really great, actually. My social media is the best it's ever been. So not to say everything's going worse, not even close. I'm just learning a lot of new things, and social media it's been great. So it's been skyrocketing as far as my recognition and stuff goes, and it's great. So that's something I'm very happy to say that has been a great, change of pace. So I'll be working on that, and I'm finally going to start going back to organizing my systems and strategies simply because I've been neglecting this, and it's something important that I need to do, right? I've been catching myself overthinking everything and being overly analytical, and it happens in phases where it doesn't really affect me, and I just keep making, consistent practice. And then there's times where it does, and when it comes to scripts, it absolutely is. So I'm going to have to find a way to figure that out and get that sorted out as soon as possible. But I think we need to talk more about that buyer. My reasoning behind that, because this could be one of the most important things that I do in real estate. I more likely than not have an unrepresented person looking to buy. And Mike went ahead and referred them to me. This literally could be a great opportunity. And they seem like they're sort of in a hustle to start buying here in the near future. So it's not like they're sort of dragging their feet or anything like that, but it could be a huge opportunity. And I need to make sure I'm following up with them the best I absolutely can. Not just for my own sake, but to offer value to him and let him know, like, hey, just checking in, what did you think about those homes I sent you? Oh, you haven't seen them yet? Be sure to check your email. They have the requirements that you're looking for in a home, and just keep following up with them, because that's really what's going to build our relationship is if I keep persisting. We're already one step ahead because I called him and he picked up the phone and answered, and he was happy to hear from me. So it's going good so far, and I'm really hoping this doesn't become a dud, because honestly, it could be great to not just have this transaction finished, but also build a relationship with a new person in Hamilton County. He could be buying another property in the future, and we can have something built as far as a relationship goes. So I'm thinking about that, right? And it's huge if it goes through, because if everything goes the way it should, right, and closing gets done in September, I will likely already have a sale closed within 3 months, which is half the time that a regular agent gets their first sale. Now, with that being said, like I said before, it's not sustainable. Because that's not something that came from my own consistent efforts. It's a referral. Referrals can pretty much just be like a sphere of influence. It can be random, right? So I can't just bank on the fact that I got one transaction done and then keep going. But that's assuming this even becomes a transaction, which there's a very high chance that it won't, So always got to be on the eye out for that. One other thing too. And you've probably noticed this. I've been making videos much later than usual. And it goes hand in hand with just not putting my priorities in check. I call my family, I eat, I watch YouTube videos, and then I stay up so late. I should be in bed by now. I really should. But I'm not. And that's an issue. So there's a lot of things I need to work on. And one thing I'm glad enough to say is that I'm consistent as far as getting to the office and doing my hot sheets and looking into my scripts. So Tyler and I are going to go ahead and work on my for sale by owner scripts tomorrow. And then I'm doing, I believe it's an hour and a half of straight FSBO prospecting. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to be calling people through Zillow. Really, I need to get to that tomorrow. And I'm about to get to that point where if I don't, someone hold me to it, I owe you $100 if I don't. I'm about to get to that point because it's something I really need to do. Oh, I even forgot. Brandon Mulrennan coaching is tomorrow. So I'll be going to do a consultation with one of Brandon Mulrennan's coaching staff, and we'll have a conversation on whether or not his coaching's right for me. But it's going to be great. So I think that's about it. I want to make this video a little short because, like I said, I mean, the bottom line here is I might be working with a buyer already. I need to make sure I have that purchase agreement, buyer consultation agreement ready, and keep following up with them. Secondly, I'm falling through on my routine. I need to make sure I'm more organized with what I do every day and make sure I sleep at a proper time and not stay up until 11:30 like I am now. And then tomorrow I have a lot of things going on, so I'm starting to implement my new routine as far as keeping up to date with my tasks and everything. So we're about to get to the 1 month mark, and not as much traffic on moving the needle as far as meeting people who are interested in buying or selling your home goes, but we're going to get there. All right, we will, and it's only a matter of time. So you can underestimate what you do in a month, but you can often overestimate what you do in a month. You underestimate what you do in 6 months. All right, guys, that's it. Good night. We'll go back and be back here on day 24. So see you guys in the next video. Good night.